Good afternoon and welcome to CoreTV News and this hour. I am Nena Nyama. President Muhammadu Buhari has mourned the passing away of Chief Mrs. Anna Didolu Awolowo. The president said on behalf of the federal government and people of Nigeria that he extends his sincere commiseration to the children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren of the jewel of inestimable value on the death of their famed matriarch just a few weeks before her 100th birthday. The president, in a statement signed by his spokesman, Femi Adesina, said he joins millions of admirers of her late revered husband, Obafemi Awolowo, in mourning H.I.D. Awolowo, who will be long remembered and celebrated as a famous spouse and pillar of strength of the late nationalist, political leader and sage. The president, who also prayed for the repose of her soul, added that God will comfort the Awolowo family, relatives, friends, associates and admirers, and grant them the fortitude to bear her loss. In the same vein, Lagos State Governor Kiwumi Ambode has described the late Mrs. Anna Awolowo, wife of the late State Femi Awolowo, as a backbone of progressive ideas. In a statement by his chief press secretary, Habib Aruno, the governor eulogized the deceased, describing her as a matriarch of the Awolowo family and a well-respected dynasty in the history of Nigeria. The governor prayed for the peaceful repose of her soul, urging the family to draw strength from the legacy she stood for while she was alive. The Ishakiris in Delta State have formally announced the passage of Ogiama Tuashe to the Olu of Warri. The ceremony, which was held at the Ode Ishakiri, Big Warri, the traditional headquarters of the Ishakiri, also saw the announcement of one of the late Olu's younger brothers, Godfrey Ikenwolu Emiko Abiloye, as the Olu designate, announcing both the passage of Atuashe to and the choice of Prince Ikenwolu to the Ishakiri National Congress. The eldest member of the Olu Advisor Council, Chief Segiweno Yaya Pesu, also performed the traditional breaking of the calabash, which represents the death of the king. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Vice Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, has warned the Boko Haram insurgents to surrender and face the full force of the nation's military capability. Abubakar gave the warning while addressing newsmen at the end of 2015 annual 10-kilometer walk exercise organized by the admin branch of the Nigerian Air Force in Abuja. He added that the Nigerian Air Force is working closely with all the forces to achieve the deadline to end insurgency in the northeast. The Air Force Chief says the significance of the exercise is to keep the minds and bodies of the officers and men fit and ready to combat insurgency. The Nigerian Army says its troops have arrested some members of Boko Haram disguised as internally displaced persons. Army spokesman Colonel Sani Usman said in the statement that intercepted persons are being screened by troops of the 21 Brigade for more information and confirmation of their true identity. He noted the troops have also dislodged Boko Haram terrorists from Disa and Balazala villages, both located in the Goza local government area. The army spokesman added that 23 men, 33 women and 34 children were rescued in the process. A coalition of civil society organizations under the aegis of Heritage Center and the National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, has threatened to lead mass protest to foreign embassies in Abuja to protest alleged political vendetta against Senate President Bukola Saraki. Addressing journalists in Abuja, the Director General of HC, Dr. Kaj Ononuju, and NAS President Tijani Usman, said the order of Saraki's arrest by the Code of Conduct Tribunal is a witch hunt against the Senate President by political cabals. They cited the action by the Senate to appoint its own leadership as a reason for the witch hunt. The activist enjoined the Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, to protect the integrity of the courts by ensuring that injunctions are respected. It is more than 100 days after the 8th National Assembly was inaugurated by President Muhammadu Buhari, but Nigerians appear not to be satisfied with the level of work put in so far by the legislators. Some residents of the Federal Capital Territory who spoke with CoreTV News say the incessant and prolonged recess by the elected representatives is no longer acceptable. Basiaye has more.
After the official opening of the 8th National Assembly on June 8th this year, it had been expected that federal lawmakers would have had at least 90 days of plenary, among other activities, before the year runs out. Surprisingly, this has not been the case, and the reason, according to these Abuja residents, is not far-fetched. They believe that too much time has been spent on frivolities like settling political squabbles and personal interests.
They should get down to work and partner with the president on his change agendas to make sure that we rebuild this economy. Because Nigerians are so much in a hurry to see real change.
They have not done enough, really.
There is also the issue of recess, which many Nigerians do not seem to understand.
The frequent recessment of National Assembly it cannot be embraced by the populace, because we voted them for them to go and represent us and to work for us, and they seek for our vote before they were given this vote. So I think they should step up in making sure that they work up, they meet up with what is expected of them.
But the Director General, National Institute of Legislative Studies, explains that the lawmakers are by law entitled to such holidays.
The legislature always goes on recess in July and come back end of September or October. That is a permanent feature of the calendar of National Assembly. And I also know that they've even cut the number of weeks for this particular long back by 2 weeks, because they were not able to sit consistently from the June 6th to the July that they went on vacation. So now they reduced the long back to make up for the lost time.
In the end, all that these residents and indeed Nigerians expect from the legislators in the 8th National Assembly and other government officials is maximum productivity and accountability. These, in their view, will go a long way in boosting the policies and reform agenda of the new administration. Basiaye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
We'll take a break now and return with more stories. Just stay with us.
Some pundits believe that as long as the political system is driven by selected few, corruption may be difficult to fight.
You should be careful about what you say.
I am not the only politician. Even if I've wronged anyone, it's time to forgive me.
Please for Arena every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. and a repeat broadcast every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
Glad to have you back. You're still watching CoreTV News. For more news stories, join us on our social media platforms. Facebook, facebook.com/CoreTV. And on Twitter at CoreTV News NG. On our YouTube channel, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space news. The controversy surrounding the evacuation of shops in the Ijora market, located in the Ijora Badia or Gomo axis of Lagos State, seems to have been laid to rest with the demolition of shops on the land by the owners, the Ijora family of Lagos. The demolition, which was done under heavy security cover, did not, however, go down with these residents. But the family, however, says the illegal occupants have themselves to blame.
Maybe the government might be right for taking the possession of what's beyond them, but at least they should be easy on it. The way the caterpillar is going, they might injure somebody. They are just being too fast on what they are doing.
My other house have been already demolished. If they want to do anything, they should please demolish it down. No fatality.
After getting the judgment, as a family who lost citizens, we give them some time so that maybe they will repent. But they didn't turn up. Instead of to turn up, they are doing the same thing. Even allocated the land to people. They are selling the land.
Still in Lagos State, the enforcement of the Lagos traffic rules has again been brought to the fore, as residents of Lagos State have expressed their displeasure over the non-enforcement of the laws, with the continued illegal parking of trucks and trailers in the highway. Our correspondent has more.
The illegal parking of trailers and trucks on major highways in Lagos State has remained a source of concern to motorists and residents in the state. They have consistently blamed the Lagos State government for the non-enforcement of the Lagos traffic laws, which they say puts the lives of residents at risk.
Any motor, 5,000, they don't collect them. If you can't, one manager, they say you get motor, they get 10 motor for getting. They go bring 50,000 with that airport and our members. They collect them. This problem, even the company when you sell 100 tickets, after finishing, just go and sell another person again.
Some of the LASTMA officials, led by the general manager of the agency, Bashir Buraima, demonstrated the seriousness of the agency by using traffic offenders as scapegoat.
The document has said that we should hold them responsible for the atrocity the driver has committed. I don't know how they are going to extend that, but we have business with the driver who is a professional and decided to violate the law by driving inside the BRT lane.
All vehicles, no discrimination. We will enforce. We will not impound. Once we have the particulars of the vehicle, we have mechanisms in the office to track down those vehicles. For vehicles registered in Lagos, very easy in our system. For those outside Lagos, so long as they are in auto-reg platform, we'll get them. For those outside auto-reg platform, we are in collaboration with other sister states in the Federation. We will track them down.
From all indications, the new traffic law in Lagos State is expected to make an impact on road safety, standard of driving, in addition to general well-being of motorists in the state. But reservations remain among road users.
And now to Ogun State, the police detectives attached to Shagamu Division of the State Police Command has arrested Dabeji Umoru for defiling a 7-year-old girl. The father of the victim, who reported the incident, disclosed that the suspect forcefully had unlawful carnal knowledge of his daughter. The police says the matter will be charged to court immediately the case is transferred to the Department of Criminal Investigation and Intelligence in Lewero, Abeokuta. The Commissioner of Police, Ogun State, CP Abdul Majid Ali, has condemned the act, vowing to deal decisively with anyone caught in this barbaric act in the state. In another development, the police detectives attached to Onikbano Division of the Command have arrested Ayodele Adedeji for parading himself as a soldier in the Nigerian army. Despite the agreement signed by labor unions and the Osun State government on the payment of outstanding salary arrears and deductions owed, the health sector may be looming for a showdown. This is because medical doctors say the MOU signed by the NLC did not capture the issues relating to their unions. The unions have, however, issued an ultimatum to commence a strike action if the state government does not recall a negotiation to meet their demands. Rashid has more on the story.
After the resolution reached by the labor leaders and the Osun State government over old salaries, it is expected that all is well. But the leadership of the Osun State Association of Medical and Dental Officers and the resident doctors from LATEC Teaching Hospital Oshogbo seem not to be on the same page with the agreement. They say they were not a part of the negotiation and issues relating to the non-implementation of the federal government circular on adjustment commerce, which is the salary scale for doctors, and was not captured in the agreement, and that there is still evidence of arbitrary cut in the doctors' pay.
We are not party to the decision of NSC and cannot be bound by this memorandum of understanding they signed with the government. That the government should pay all our outstanding salaries, union and cooperative deductions, leave bonuses, and remit the backlog of contributory pensions deductions to the relevant pension fund administrator on or before 24 hours of Sunday, 27th of September 2015.
The issue of unpaid salaries and members' welfare has caused both physical and psychological torture to members. The point I just raised is not unconnected with the continuous non-implementation of the federal government circular on adjusted commerce, despite implementation of federal government circular on taxation on the state.
But the spokesperson for the government says all union leaders were represented at the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding.
If they want anything done, they should wait. Thank God the way things are going now. Labor issue will become what each state will have to be handling the way it knows it can do it better. Because the way things are going now, the federal government should hands off and allow each state to negotiate according to their capability.
The lecturers in the state-owned tertiary institutions also say they cannot call off the ongoing 8-month strike until the government accents to its demand.
One of them is the issue of a contributory pension. We are tired of the way it is being administered by the government. And our position on that is that the government could re-engineer by suspending the contributory pension. Let us go back to the old defined pension scheme. We have done our own part by going to them, trying to facilitate the meeting at one time or the other, but the government has not been reciprocating. So we are waiting for the time government will be ready for us for the negotiation.
In the midst of this crisis, the students who are the worst hit appeal for peace.
What is in their mind is that touches the issue of ongoing strike that is affecting the majority entire Nigerian students across the state of Osun, and we are appealing to the state government to have a formidable agreement with the Kawasu, ASUP, and the Kasosty of the state of Osun.
The medical doctors have issued a strike ultimatum to commence on Monday, the 21st of September, and the lecturers have also vowed not to call off the 8-month strike. The most affected person by these actions can only continue to hope and pray that an amicable resolution is reached soon. Rashid, CoreTV News, Oshogbo.
As the world marks the International Coastal Cleanup Day, tourism and environment-loving Nigerians have come together under the umbrella of Beach Samaritans to help clean up a popular beach in the Lagos metropolis. Our correspondent Precious Kingston joined the exercise and filed in this report presented from our studios.
Cleanup is a necessary exercise, especially in this part of the world, where indiscriminate dumping of refuse is the order of the day. But it takes extra effort to move from cleaning houses, offices, and our surroundings to cleaning the coastal areas. For these Nigerians, it's indeed an act worthy of their time. One of the organizers of the Beach Samaritans, Shola Olabutu, says it's essential that the nation continues to have a clean and conducive coastline to promote tourism.
Okay, the idea came about 2 years ago when my co-founder, Belu Awufeso, who happens to be a tourism and travel practitioner, decided that we should, bring people to the beaches. And we found out that the beaches were dirty. And we did a survey, we went around a few beaches. And we decided that they just needed to be clean. Now this cleanup we're doing, we're marking the Clean Up the World weekend. We started yesterday and ends tomorrow. So Loma will actually be coming to clean up the trash tomorrow. Recyclers will clean up the trash, pick up the stuff today. And then tomorrow, the rest will be done. We're also marking the International Coastal Cleanup Day.
For these volunteers, the exercise is a necessity to address the worsening state of the beaches in Nigeria.
I belong to a group called Beach Samaritan, which is a two group that came together. Waka Abat and Kate, Children and the Environment. And I got involved with them and I've been working with them. The whole idea, obviously, once again, is to make our beach attractive for commercial purposes and for relaxation purposes. So you can see most of our beaches are very dirty. And we don't just go around cleaning beaches. There must be public beach. That's what we clean.
We want to volunteer our time, our energy, towards the cleanup of this beach. We are really excited by the work that Auntie Shola and Kwelu are doing in volunteering to clean up our coastal areas, our beaches, which is quite a noble effort. We want to identify with them want to render our services. And today is also World Coastal Cleanup Day, International Coastal Cleanup Day. So we want to be part of it because we believe in a clean environment.
The exercise has also been used as a platform to raise the next generation of Nigerians to cultivate the habit of cleanliness, which they say is next to godliness.
We'll take another break now, return with more stories on business, foreign and sports. Just stay with us.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, our 24-hour news station.
Welcome back. In business, the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, says it is implementing a 7-year rural agriculture finance support program aimed at reducing poverty in at least 345,000 rural poor households in Nigeria. IFAD's country program manager Atsuko Toda, who disclosed this at a meeting with the management of Bank of Agriculture, BOA, Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, and microfinance bank operators in Kaduna, said IFAD has given the sum of $27 million into the project. She pointed out that the program aims to tackle unemployment and poverty in Nigeria, as well as encourage economic growth and development. Toda urged BOA to ensure smooth and transparent implementation of the program so as to achieve its aim of poverty eradication. The Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NETI, has enjoined the federal government to amend the NETI Act to enable it to implement her audit reports on the extractive oil and gas sector of the economy. The Executive Secretary, NETI, Zainab Ahmed, disclosed that there is no provision for remediation, which is the most critical part of the work, and the much-needed reform that is required in the oil and gas and mining sectors. The NETI executive also emphasized that the powers to implement the reports of her audit would also help reduce the rate of corruption in the sector. And now to foreign stories. The President of Benin Republic, Thomas Boni Yayi, has disclosed that Burkina Faso will return to civilian rule and reinstate an interim government led by President Michel Kafando. He disclosed this on Saturday after he held talks with coup leader General Gilbert Diendere in the capital Ouagadougou. Boni Yayi said a transition led by civilians will be relaunched, while also promising the citizens a better country. Thousands of Venezuelans today marched in cities across the country to protest against the jailing of opposition leader Leopoldo Lopez. Lopez was sentenced to nearly 14 years in prison earlier this month on the charge of inciting violence at anti-government demonstrations last year. The protesters, who claimed the sentence was politically motivated, last took to the streets in May, when the imprisoned politician went on strike to demand that the government set a date for legislative elections. Meanwhile, those elections have been set for December 6, and the opposition is polling well ahead of the Socialist Party. And that's it on CoreTV News on this hour. Thank you so much for watching. I am Nena Nyama. Good afternoon.